I'm Marika.
And I'm Eduard.
We are at the Cambreur College in Dongen. From the outside it looks like a pretty normal school to me, but it has got a bilingual stream.
What's that? What's a bilingual stream?
I think it has something to do with 2 languages.
Let's go check it out.
Bilingual education is education with 2 languages, Dutch and English for us.
You get 60% of the lessons in English and the others in Dutch.
The subjects geography, history, chemistry, etc. are all given in English. So 2 languages are spoken, and Dutch and all the other languages are just in Dutch.
In all the lesson you speak English and the teacher speaks also English.
Basically learning everything you're supposed to learn, but then getting it in 2 languages.
The difference between VWO in the Dutch stream and in the bilingual stream is the fact that in the bilingual stream 70% of the subjects for the children is being taught in English, so that makes a big difference. In the end, they take the same central exam in year 6. Besides that, in year 4, in the bilingual stream, children start preparing for an internationally recognized certificate, and that's the English International Baccalaureate, which enables them to study and to work abroad later on in their life.
De leerlingen krijgen behoorlijk wat lessen in het Engels aangeboden. In de onderbouw zijn dat ongeveer 7 vakken die ze normaal gesproken in het Nederlands zouden krijgen en nu in het Engels aangeboden krijgen. Dat betekent dus dat de docent aardrijkskunde geeft, maar dan in het Engels. Dat doen we de eerste 3 jaar, want dan zitten de klassen bij elkaar. In leerjaar 4 gaan de leerlingen naar de bovenbouw toe. Dan moeten ze een Nederlands examenprogramma gaan afwerken. En dat betekent dat op dat moment die vakken in het Nederlands worden aangeboden. En alleen de vakken die in het gemeenschappelijke deel, die ze dus als klas kunnen doen, dat die nog in het Engels gegeven worden. Dat is nog altijd 30%. In de onderbouw zitten we rond de 70% in het Engels. Dus gemiddeld komen we op meer dan de helft van de lessen in het Engels uit.
So most lessons are taught in English.
Yes, let's check out some of these classes.
Yes. Next to us.
Of course, all know that if you don't know a word, you have to look it up in the dictionary, and they're in the back of the classroom, okay?
Bilingual education looks like a lot of work to me.
Yes, let's go find out if it's harder than regular VWO.
No, in the beginning it is like, oh, they are talking English, but now it's like very easy.
No, now is it not so hard, but I think that it will be harder.
Yes, it is, because it's in most of the subjects are in English, so it's more difficult, and we have extra work that we have to do, and extra assignments, and yeah.
I think the English lessons are difficult because, yes, some words are very difficult to understand, and in Dutch you just understand everything.
Yes, I think it is, because we have to translate all the words that we read and write.
It's in the beginning it was pretty difficult because you want to talk Dutch more than English, but after 3 years you talk a lot of English.
When children start bilingual education in year 1, I think it's quite difficult for them because they come straight from primary school and their level of English is, well, very low, of course. And when they come in year 1 in our bilingual school, the teachers start talking to them right away in English, and the children have to study English books, they have to read in English, they have to do their homework in English, and that involves quite a lot of work because, well, in the beginning they won't be able to understand everything, and that means that when they come home they have to look up a lot of things in the dictionaries, and that takes quite a lot of time.
Teaching in English is a challenge for me as a teacher. It's slightly different approach from the Dutch-speaking classes because the use of English plays an important role. So I have to be able to get students to talk to each other, to use the English in order to to show that they understand the content of the subject. Now, of course, the content of the subject always stays most important. First of all, I'm a geography teacher, but in order to do that in English, it makes it more worthwhile, more challenging, not only for me as a teacher, but also for students.
Children doing bilingual education, for them I think not only the English language is important, but I think it's also important that they get to know the English culture, English traditions, English history. And for that reason, in our school we organize quite a lot of school trips abroad where children have to talk English, communicate in English. We try to set up projects with schools abroad. We've got an email project with an Italian school at this moment, and children, they communicate through, the English language. We make them familiar with English traditions. We have an English breakfast every year with all the children. We visit English plays. Sometimes we have near native guest speakers who tell children, a lot about, it could be anything actually. So in that way, there are quite a lot of extras for these children.
Shall I take a look at chemistry class?
Okay, we will meet at PE class.
So this is blue litmus paper. The other one is red. It's pink. We call it red. And this is pH paper, the orange one.
Oh, because we have to share. Oh, okay.
Hey, what's this?
By a ball, you're out, you have to sit on the bench. Also, when a teammate catches a ball, one can come back in.
One of the subjects given in English is PE. Hey, where did Eduard go?
Let's check out what's behind this door. Wrong door.
This is the OLC, where students can study in their free periods. There's a library and you can use the computer. So in the beginning, it's more difficult than the regular VWO, but once you get to know the language, it's not that hard anymore.
Yes, and what do parents think of TTO?
And my parents think it's really nice. They wanted me to go there because I can learn English then very fast. And they like it now, and all the activities and stuff, they like it really much. They're very proud because they think it's very difficult that we do.
Als ouder vind ik het een extra dat mijn dochter een Engelstalige opleiding krijgt. Het is natuurlijk een ontzettend goede basis voor verdere ontwikkeling. En eigenlijk wil je natuurlijk gewoon het beste voor je kind. En eigenlijk zo'n niveau voor haar zo in haar omgeving, dat is natuurlijk hartstikke fijn. Want ze kan zich zo uitermate goed voorbereiden op haar verdere ontwikkeling en op haar verdere studiekeuzes.
This type of thing is happening, I will decide to disperse the army. Does anyone know what that is? Disperse your army. Wegsturen, that's right.
This is the C building.
This is where all the first graders have the lessons.
So they have their own building?
Yes, that's good, isn't it? Up until now, it's all about work, work, work. But what about fun?
Let's ask some people if the school is fun too. Is the Cambreur College a fun school to be at?
Yes, certainly, because all the teachers are nice and the pupils too.
It's fun to speak another language except Dutch all the day.
I like it because it's a challenge for you, because it's something else than just in Dutch. And you still have lessons in Dutch, but it's nice, I think.
We go to different countries, and that's the most fun part.
This year we're going to Zealand. We're going to do some experiments there about biology and more extra stuff. We get guest speakers. They're coming to tell something about what they're doing.
We've got an email project with some children from Italy, and we're going to visit them, and we went to York and London, and we watched a show at the theater, and we had to sing Christmas carols at the Christmas Mall.
Internationalization within the lessons is offered in a number of different ways. For example, you can have native speakers from all kinds of different countries that visit the school and that give guest lectures.
One of the nice features of our subject is that in a short while we'll be having a video conferencing with Canadian war veterans, and they tell their story to Dutch students, and Dutch students are able to ask them questions. So I think it will be worthwhile. And later on we get American students coming into our classroom and try to explain how history is taught in America, and try to see the comparison between the two ways of approaching history.
I think bilingual education is pretty awesome.
But what about the possibilities for the future?
I don't know. Let's go ask someone.
I think you have advantage in the future, because when you want to study in another country, you can speak more English.
When I grow up, I want to be an architect, and I think that is important to have English for, so you can communicate with the people.
In my opinion, the advantage of bilingual education is that children after 6 years of bilingual education, they reach a more or less native level of speaking in English. So that's a big advantage, especially because most of these children will continue their study at universities or higher educations. And nowadays, these studies, well, they are in English too. So these children will have a big advantage over other children.
I think bilingual education is important because the world in which students grow up nowadays is changing. Internet is playing a far more important role. Students need to learn to communicate in a number of different ways, and communication, for example with the help of internet, will become a big part of their future life as well, both personal and professional. If students want to cooperate, or if students want to be a part of the world of the future, then they have to be able to communicate in a decent way, but they also have to be able to understand the background of different people, for example in development countries or in other countries. And if you don't understand that background, then communication automatically becomes a lot more difficult.
Altogether, it seems like a pretty good school to me.
You learn proper English, the people are nice, and you get to do all kinds of extra activities, such as trips abroad, plays and field trips.
And we hope to see you next year at Cambreur College. I'm Eduard.
I'm Marika.
Bye.